Now, MPs investigating whether Boris Johnson misled Parliament over a lockdown party or lockdown parties at number 10 are meeting today, a bit later on this morning, to conclude their inquiry. That's in the wake of the former Prime Minister's dramatic resignation on Friday. Is there any future for the former Prime Minister in British politics? We're joined now by the Levelling Up Secretary, Michael Gove. Mr Gove, I know you've had a very busy morning. Thank you for joining us. Well, what do you think about the future for Boris Johnson? Is he still an important figure in British politics who could make a comeback, stand again as an MP? Or should he, in the words of your former colleague Tim Lawton, shut up and go away?
Hi, good morning, Susanna. Very nice to see you and Richard this morning. With respect to Boris's decision, he's made an own individual decision to stand down at this point. I respect that decision. I think we should also respect his achievements as Prime Minister, the role that he played in the war in Ukraine, his responsibility for a speedy vaccine rollout, and also his success in breaking the Brexit deadlock.
What would you like to happen? You have had a mixed opinion of Boris Johnson over the years. You once backed him to run your party. You then said that he couldn't provide the leadership or build the team for the task ahead. You then served with him. You also then lost your job with him. I mean, I don't know where you are this morning on Boris Johnson. You've already paid tribute to him, but would you like him to be an MP again?
Well, I think the history that you mentioned just emphasises that Boris is a figure who contains multitudes, as it were. And I think in any assessment of his career to this point, I think that it's only fair that people remember the successes that he was responsible for and his contribution to public life.
Michael Gove, do you think, exactly. Is he a loss? You've said he's had enormous number of achievements. Do you consider him a loss to politics if he doesn't stand again as an MP?
Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to mention those achievements is that I think that when someone departs office, it's important to remember the better side, to be, to think with grace, infusing your response. As to the future, my focus on the future is not on Boris's career per se, or not on Boris's future jobs per se. It is the jobs of millions of people in this country that will be protected and enhanced by their government making the right decisions on everything from halving inflation, reducing debt, growing the economy, making sure that we cut waiting lists and making sure that we stop the boats.
Let me ask another question then, because you haven't said whether you think he's a loss to British frontline politics or not. Do you think he misled Parliament?
Well, I don't know. So, I mean, on your previous question, I do think, there is a loss when someone like Boris departs the stage. I do think that, and I think that was implicit in what I said earlier. On the question of whether or not he misled Parliament, then a parliamentary committee has been set up to investigate that. All of us as MPs voted for that committee to do its job. It can't have been easy for them. I haven't yet seen the report. It's going to be published later this week. When it is published, we can all then make a judgment on that report. But I just want to say that I'm grateful to MPs for taking on that role, because, as I say, it's no easy thing to consider the massive evidence there.
Click here for something about Jacob Rees-Mogg.